Good morning. Is this mic working? Hello, good morning. Okay, if you all want to go ahead and take your seats, we'll be getting started shortly. And then you'll have time during lunch to visit the exhibit tables. Hello, good morning. So we'll be getting started in about a half a minute. I'm going to see if the president is going to walk downstairs, but if you want to go ahead and take your seats. Good morning. Is this mic okay? Do you all mind if I stand down here? Can everyone? Because I'm not sure. All right. So if I have not had an opportunity to meet you, my name is Dr. Chandra Williams, and I am the project director for Educational Talent Search. I just want to welcome you guys. We're waiting to see if the president is going to be able to get away from a meeting, but then Carol is here as well to welcome you. But this is probably our annual event, and it's rare that we have an opportunity to have all 12 high schools invited to an event. So let's just give yourselves a hand. Thank you guys so much for attending. Okay. So I want to start with some housekeeping things, but first we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. And I need the help of a young man who always shows up. If there are wheels on something, Keenan is going to be there. Keenan has been accepted to CACC, so Dan Carroll, he may be the newest member. So Keenan, where's Keenan? And y'all remember his name, Twyman. Where is he? Oh, he's over there signing. Keenan Twyman. If I didn't call him to be on this program, I was going to hear from Keenan later on. So he's always here. Come on, Keenan, we can't keep waiting for you. Oh, don't get shy now. He's not shy, y'all. So if you will stand, Keenan is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Keenan. I put him on the spot, y'all. So, just a few housekeeping things. So, the bathrooms are right out the door to the right, if you haven't seen those. And ETS, you all know, once you're in the room, if you have to leave, you will have to let someone know. Like other colleges and universities, this is an open campus, and I'm still paranoid, so I want to make sure we know where you guys are. So, the other thing is, we do allow you guys to use your cell phones today, right? So unlike a lot of other events, you can hashtag ETS at CACC, right? So I want you to be able to take pictures, and ETS students know that they can email those pictures to us. They can tag us. We're on Instagram and Facebook. How many of you all have your phones with you? Raise your hand. Tell the truth. Well, this is the one time, I don't know if you can use them at school, but you can certainly use them this morning. All right, now, if some of you all have already visited our exhibit tables, and I want to thank all of the exhibitors that are here. If you have not had an opportunity, our first table is Student Support Services here on campus, and ETS, you know that once you go to college, there's still an ETS like sister program, and that's Student Support Services on other campuses. Then next to them, we have WIOA. All right, that stands for Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act. And there are just some wonderful opportunities through that program. Next to them, we have industrial technology. And I've had a chance to look at some of the items that they have on the table, and it's really fascinating. Next to them, we have the Department of Nursing here on campus. And a lot of you all already know them because y'all attended our pre-medicine camp. We have a lot of freshmen and sophomores in this room who were at that camp. Okay, you know ETS. All right, Mary, raise your hand. Mary is representing dual enrollment and admissions here at CACC. So they can tell you what is required, not only at CACC, but it's pretty much the same at other community colleges. They're very knowledgeable. Okay, Office of Disability Services. Hey, hey. So a lot of people don't know that disability services is available on college campuses, but you will know if you already have a disability or if you think you do, or if you know someone, then that's the program for you because there are some opportunities for you there. And then the favorite at all campuses is financial aid. Financial aid, because that's the first thing you have to do. Y'all know that. Fill out that FAFSA. Everybody in the United States has to do that. And there are always a lot of questions, but we can get you straightened out if you have any questions. All right, I see Mr. Holly standing up, biology department. And I kind of walked by that table, but I turned my head because there are some snakes and some other stuff back there. They may be deceased, but they're still snakes. But anyway, biology department, a lot of you all are taking dual enrollment, and he and I had a conversation yesterday about, the fact that we serve so many high schools and they're spread out throughout with 4 counties that it would be great to have an online biology and an online lab. Some colleges are exploring that now, so thank you guys. Next to them, H&R Block. All right. So if you want to know about careers or just, I know one thing you all want to know about when you work, why do they take so many taxes out? And why do you have to pay taxes every year? So they are here to answer a lot of those questions and more. And then next to them, we have Alabama State University. So thank you for coming from Montgomery for us. She is our the district recruiter for this area, so she can give you a lot of information about the 4-year and graduate programs that they have, and doctoral program. All right. And then CACC ALAMAP. That is the Alabama Advanced Manufacturing Apprenticeship Program. There's a lot of good information back there, and guess what? She has a competition for you all, and I want to know who the winners are. The competition is you have to tie a tie. We're going to see who can tie a necktie, right? So anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to thank the exhibitors, and let's give them a hand for coming as well. So next, quickly, I want to do a high school roll call because I want to see who's here. Now, in all fairness, this is spring break for Benjamin Russell High School. Even though they're local, this is their spring break, so they could not have a bus here, but it's Benjamin Russell in the building. All right. Talk about dedication, and I know all of them at that table, and we'll talk about them later on. But thank you guys for being with us during your spring break. I think Benjamin Russell might have the highest enrollment for ETS. I think so. Dayville High School, where are you guys? All right, come on now. Come on, Dayville. Okay, I'm not sure about Reeltown because there were so many other events, but Reeltown, I don't think they were able to make it. Okay, B.B. Comer High School. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Childersburg High School. And I know they're here. Mr. Stubblefield, you know, I bet they talked all the way on the bus, didn't they? They are here, and let me tell y'all something about Childersburg. Since Mr. Stubblefield came on board, which was like a month ago, that enrollment has like tripled already for ETS participants. So thank you guys. Horseshoe Bend. All right, another one of our high numbers with ETS as well. At Horseshoe Bend, the juniors and seniors, almost most of them are dual enrollment or AP or something, so they're just always busy. Sylacauga. All right. Now, I'll talk about Miss Fantasia and her cohort. They were going to be here by any means necessary. I got an email late yesterday evening that they couldn't work out the bus situations, but those two always show up. Thank you, guys. Okay. Talladega County Central. I knew that was coming. Always show up, y'all. Always. Central High School of Coosa County. I don't think we had. Winterboro. Bottle bus. Y'all so nice and quiet. When we come to meetings, y'all talk a lot. But that's okay. Winterboro is here. Central High of Clay County. I don't think we got. And then Lincoln. All right. So thank you guys again for that. And did I mention that you can use your cell phone? Oh, okay. All right. I won't say that again. Well, at this time, I want to introduce Dean Jerry Carroll to bring welcomes on behalf of Central Alabama Community College. And you'll see Dean Carroll's name on just about everything we do because she has to approve all trio.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I am just so excited to have you all here, and I thank you, first of all, for just being in the program. It takes dedication and commitment to be in the program, do the activities. As Dr. Williams mentioned, I heard a minute ago, doing the various activities you have to do to be able to go on those field trips. So it takes commitment and dedication just to be enrolled in a program like this. I love ETS. If you've heard me speak at any of the other events last year, I mentioned when I was younger, we didn't have this program at my high school when I was growing, which was many, many years ago. Although it existed in my little town, we didn't have that. And I wish we did, because it gives you an extra edge, an extra step in terms of things that you can learn and do and get exposed to get you on the right track for success when you graduate from high school and go on to college or into the workforce. So it's a really important program, and one thing I always say is it's free. So do not turn down an opportunity that's completely free. I don't know many more opportunities where you can go on field trips, exciting places, tours, cultural events, all that the ladies of ETS plan for you all is free of charge to you. So take advantage of those opportunities. I love the title of the workshop, Dare to Dream. That's a challenge to you to, look at opportunities that you maybe, I don't know if I can do that. Yes, you can. So stay encouraged, be encouraged, and use your support system at your schools, at ETS. Be supportive of each other and believe in yourself. All things truly are possible. It may not seem like it sometimes. And again, I just go back to when I was younger. I was encouraged by my parents to do things, but I was the first in my family to go to college. So even though they had not, they still encouraged me to do it. They may not have known everything that needed to be done, but they said, we will help you. And again, there wasn't an ETS to help them help me. But I went out there, I researched, I looked into things, I talked to other people who believed in me. And again, believe in yourself too. Regardless of your current circumstances, they may be great, they may be mediocre, they may be whatever. But where you are and where you've been does not determine where you're going to go. So truly believe in yourself and dare to dream and know that it is possible. If there's anything I can do for you, you can contact me directly here at CACC. You can go through Dr. Williams. But I love young people. You give me energy when I see you because I am getting older. So it helps when I get in front of young people. I just get a lot of energy because you have a lot of energy and enthusiasm. We will help you again wherever you go, and that's what ETS is about. It doesn't mean you have to come to CACC. You can go to any school. They're willing to support you. But, of course, I work for CACC, so I would love to see you here on our campus in the future. But I'm definitely glad you are here today. So, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for being in the program. And I don't know if our president will be able to make it down. He was on the list, but he is tied up in a meeting. But if he's able, he may pop in sometime during the day if you have a moment to let him say a few words, because he loves young people too, and he wants to see you succeed as well. So, again, thank you for being here this morning. And pop over and see me. I'm going to be here for the full program. So, again, thank you and welcome.
Dr. Ball. So, thank you so much, Dean Carroll, for that, and I appreciate all the support that she gives us between ETS and Student Support Services and Upward Bound. We send a lot of approvals through to Dean Carroll, and I want to thank you for all that you do to support us. So before we move further, I wanted to just tell you all a little bit about ETS and the history. This is a question that is always asked of us, is this a talent show program? But it kind of is, it's just academically. So just to start from the right, I guess, the staff, you see that there's only a few of us, and we have 12 schools. So it's myself and our project advisor is Mrs. Precious Smith. You want to raise, most of you all know her, you hear from her all the time, and if it has to do with money, it's all things precious. If there's a penny missing, I always say this, she's going to study that computer screen until she finds where that penny went. Dr. Lakeisha Ball is our project assistant, and just everything, ETS. And then our new person, Brooke, Brooke Hughes, stand up, Brooke, and come around. So Brooke is going to be coming to the schools, right? Conducting some of the seminars, and the school site specialists that we'll announce later on, but the school site specialists have already started booking her to come to the schools, but she's our mentor. Brooke is part-time with ETS right now, but she's a full-time nursing student at CACC. And to put the icing on the cake, Brooke is a certified teacher in the state of Alabama. So we're just all around so thankful for her. Let's give Brooke a hand, because I just want to recognize, just, give flowers where they're due. She came in, she's only been with us for about a month, and she just came in hitting the ground running and just fell right in place, and it's just a perfect fit, and we just love her already, Dean Carroll. So anyway, just wanted you all to see who Brooke is. So in the middle, remember, I think I told y'all can use cell phones. Uh, That's our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So please, before you leave today or during the program, please post something or follow us because that really means a lot. Dr. Ball is over all the social media and she works really hard on that for you guys. Okay, the funding, Dean Carroll mentioned what all we do. A lot of things, field trips, these type of programs. Seminars, cultural events, just the list goes on and on and on. We're a federally funded program, and we'll mention more about that on the next slide. But on the far left corner, we have all of our high schools listed with our school site specialists, and we'll bring them up a little bit later. So next, what's next, Dr. Okay, I want to give you a little history. So you'll hear us interchangeably, we may say TRIO, TRIO. That is not an acronym for anything, but when Talent Search and Upward Bound and Student Support Services started, it was 3 programs, right? It was 3. So people throughout the country just started saying the TRIO program, so they wouldn't have to say each name of them. But Mrs. Harmon with Student Support Services and Upward Bound and I have been talking about trying to get this CACC history and TRIO, and she found it that Talent Search started here in 1991. But now Upward Bound started in 1990 at CACC, so they got a year on us. And then Student Support Services came on later at CACC, and now it's Student Support Services STEM. So that is, basically students, college students. Anytime you hear student support services as part of TRIO, that's referring to college students. But look at the years. So TRIO started in 1965, then Student Support Services. Then they started Veterans Upward Bound and Equal Opportunity Centers. And basically what happened was, if you look on the left, I'll talk about that too. There were great minds in the United States that figured out that we need to do more for education than what we're doing. And then they discovered we need to be specific, right? So that's why you see different groups. You have the veterans and then training grants for staff development. We do a lot of professional development. And that's so that TRIO personnel will understand the program and understand the goals and the missions. Then the United States Department of Education started, and then TRIO brought on Ronald McNair. That's a graduate program at a lot of colleges for students who want to, get graduate degrees or PhDs. And then Upward Bound Math and Science came on as well. So you can just see how many programs since 1995 were started with the initial 3, the TRIO. Okay, all of this came about because of a way of thinking. And the way of thinking in 1862, Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Act of 1862. And that established land-grant colleges. So Auburn University, Texas A&M, and a number of them. That was first. And then in 1890, the Morrill Act was added for HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. And then the GI Bill, because, veterans were coming home, right? Troops were coming home, and they needed specific services for them. And then in 1947, President Truman came out with the Truman Report. And those of you who like history, like you can, Google that. But there's a lot in there, and it just led to more and more programs about how we need to help people to get started in life. Along with that came Head Start, Job Corps, Community Action, and then Upward Bound in 64. So that's just kind of a quick overview um, with regard to the TRIO program. All right. And if you all have any questions later on, feel free. Um, can you go to the next slide, Dr. Ball? We'll come back to the activities. So the funding right now, ETS is funded at I thought I had it on there, $381,881 per year. So we have to write competitive grants to be funded every 5 years. And they're very competitive. These are not where we just gonna give your college money to help 12 high schools, to partner with 12 high schools, right? We have to write a competitive grant. And nowadays, you have to score 100 in order to get funded. So I'm pleased to say we were scored at 106. We lost 2 points because one of our high schools had good statistics about retention rates. I should have took that part out. We would have had those extra 2 points, but nevertheless, we got 106, and we were funded through 2028. Let's 6, precious. 2026 or 8? Can't remember. 6. Okay, and then we have to reapply. So anyway, just a quick look at how it started in 1965 with $6 million federal funding throughout the United States for all the program. And look, it was only 3,261 students. And then in 2004, TRIO funding went up to $823 million. And by 2020, we were at $1 billion. So when President Biden came in, he proposed $2 million for the next programs. And go to the next slide. Yeah, so we just found out that the Biden-Harris administration released its budget for 2024, and they were asking for a 9% increase for TRIO. Hopefully we'll get that. They also wanted to increase Pell Grant awards, and those of you who have attended college, you know Pell Grant. So we really are happy about this, but I'll sidestep for one moment and say, one of the reasons why TRIO has been so successful, we're nonpartisan, right? If whoever it is, if they're about these 12 high schools that we represent, we're working with them, we're visiting them on Capitol Hill, we're telling them, well, this is what's going on at Horseshoe Bend. Well, let me tell you about Childersburg High School. We actually do that. We talk to our lawmakers. And one thing for sure, when people may vote differently or believe in different things, but we all believe in young people. So that's what we stand on. And I applaud everyone who works in TRIO because it's definitely a labor of love. We never stop working, I'm just going to be honest. Because if a student is emailing or texting late, we're going to answer it. We're going to respond. And we do the same with our 12 high school partners. So anyway, that's just a quick look. The activities, you'll see a slideshow later on that the activities, but I think last year we did about 52 school visits to all of the schools, and we went to Real Time for a back-to-school recruitment event, and we had a pre-medicine camp at UAB, and we went to Weeks Bay and Mobile County. We done medieval times team building in Lawrenceville, Georgia. We had a virtual mentoring conference, and we've had in-person mentoring where we passed out books and all of that, and just so many different cultural events. Escape room, went to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Coca-Cola, and University of Tennessee College of Medicine, Tennessee Aquarium. Man, the list goes on and on. We have about 100 photos showing some of the things we've done, but I would venture to guess that Dr. Ball probably has 500 or 600 pictures. So That's just how much we've done with ETS, and we really do thank everyone for your support. Okay. So we're gonna move on with the program with our guest speaker. I need to introduce the person who's introducing the guest speaker. Drayson Russell graduated from Davie High School, and Drayson left Davie and went to UAB. And he finished real quick, something like 3 years, and something like in neuroscience, something. Maybe you can explain. And his research is something in those lines that's really high tech. Maybe he could just mention that quite a bit. But he is a graduate of the University of Alabama at Birmingham with a Bachelor of Science degree in neuroscience. And he is co-owner of Project EMS, a program that has helped ETS so immensely. So I want to thank you so much, Drayson, and I'm going to turn it over to you. And you are welcome to use the podium. Please do.
Good morning, everybody. All right, good morning again. Like she said, my name is Drayson Russell. I am an MD, MBA, and PhD candidate. I'm an entrepreneur, UAB researcher for the Department of Neurology at UAB Hersey School of Medicine. I am pleased and honored to introduce our guest speaker for today's event. Today's speaker is a native of Campbell, Alabama. He is a graduate of Opelika High School in Opelika, Alabama, and a former student of Alabama School of Math and Science. After high school, he attended the university, Auburn University. I almost put you at my school. From 2017 until 2021, he graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies. His focus area for his degree was political science, business, and civic community engagement. He was also able to secure a double minor in history and biology. During his time at Auburn, he worked with Auburn University Recreation, Draughon Center for Arts and Humanities, Auburn University Center for Outreach and Engagement, J.P. Powell Middle School, Tuskegee Public School, and Lafayette High School in various capacities. He is also a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Currently, he is a student at the Thomas Good Jones School of Law at Faulkner University in Montgomery, Alabama, in hopes of receiving his Juris Doctorate. He also serves as the mayor of the town of Camp Hill, Alabama, proudly serving as the youngest public official in the state and as a law clerk for the Honorable Judge Calvin L. Williams at the 15th Judicial Circuit of Alabama. So without further ado, please join me in a round of applause to welcome Messiah Williams Cole.
All right, so good morning, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm used to talking without a microphone, so I'm sorry for scaring y'all just then. So good morning, everyone. All right, so today I'm speaking to you all. I'm used to speaking in front of youth. Been speaking to youth since I was about 15 years old, tutoring. So it's one thing I like, and that's engagement. And I know what y'all like. What's one thing y'all like? What's the first thing come to everybody's head what they like? Money. Everybody likes money. Raise your hand if you got cash out. Raise your hand if you got Venmo. All right, that's going to come into play. I'm going to have certain things that I'm going over. And if one person knows there's certain things, they're going to get a cash app today. That sound fair? All right, cool. All right, so here we are at Dare to Dream 2023. And on today's agenda, these are the things I'm going to be asking you at the end. This is what's going to earn you money. All right? So we're going to talk about 3 phrases. I'm going to have 2 sayings that I want you to know, and I'm going to have 1 acronym that I want you to remember and what that acronym stands for. All right? So this is going to be today's message. And today's message is success is like an iceberg. At the top, you have what people see. People see the achievements that you have. They see the trophies that you win. They see the titles that you have. A lot of people can also think they see your wealth. But what they don't see is the sacrifice, the health, the good habits, the focus, the disappointment, the growth, mindset, persistence, the daily goal, the expenses, the targets, time management, determination, tears, sleepless nights, and rejection. But this is going to be my real message for today. So everyone tells you success is a hard way and you got to get there. But if nothing else, this is the one thing I want you to remember. The purpose of life is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have made some difference, that you have lived and lived well. When I worked at the Draughon Center for Arts and Humanities, I kind of call him my prophet, but he was my professor, Dr. Mark Wilson. The one thing that he always preached to me and his students was that your job in life was to live a life well lived, a life that you were proud of, a life that you were happy with, a life that you were satisfied with, a life that you could look back at the end and say, hey, I live for a moment of memories and not a moment of moments. So, we're going to get into the first phase of life. And each phase of life for me has a symbol about life and a phrase about life. So, the first one, this is life. This is your middle adolescence, ages 14 through 18. So, do we have anyone 13 years or under in here? All right, good. Because I wouldn't account for that. So, middle adolescence, ages 14 through 18. This part of your life is defined by a couple things. Structured freedom, all right? What I mean by structured freedom is, for most of you, you guys think you have some freedom, but you do not. For most people, Monday through Friday, I know exactly where y'all are going to be at or supposed to be at from 8 to 3. And if you're an athlete or an extracurricular, I know where you're going to be at from 8 to about 5 or 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you think you have freedom, but you don't have freedom. What you have is structured freedom. You have the weekends, if you have parents who let you do whatever, where you can do whatever, and you have nights. I had cool parents. So my parents was, you can stay up as long as you want, doing whatever you want, but you got to be on the bus by 7:15. So I had structured freedom. The next thing is harmless risks. Throughout this age, you're going to take a lot of risks that seem like risks, but they don't have any true consequences. For a lot of you all, some of the worries are, does this shirt go with this set of shoes? Picking the right outfit for tomorrow. You're taking risks. You're deciding what to wear. You're becoming more comfortable with yourself. You may say, hey, I'm going to try out for basketball. I'm going to try out for football. I want to do this. I want to do that. They're risks, but they're harmless. If you don't make the basketball team, it's going to seem like the end of the world for maybe a week, week and a half. But stuff like that passes. Another thing is easy relationships. At this age in your life, even though social media kind of have you thinking something else, this is the easiest time to maintain relationships and friendships. And one thing that's going to become a theme throughout this is that most of the people you are friends with now, you are only friends with them because y'all just so happen to live in the same place at the same exact time and go to the same exact school or the same exact church or have parents who like each other. They're easy relationships. You get along with each other because to some sense you have to get along with each other. You don't have that choice not to fool with them. Another one that you will see really at this age is excitement and ambition. At this age, there are so many things to be excited about. And I know as y'all get older, y'all may have seen that even that excitement may dwindle down. I talked to a group of 6th graders last week, and I had this one girl, and she was the cutest thing. I remember I was talking to him, and I asked her, I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? She looked me dead in my eyes. She said, I want to be a forensic scientist, doctor, millionaire, equestrian horse rider. And I looked at her, and I said, you go for it. But that type of excitement you have when you're young, you feel like you can do anything. You feel like you can do it all. You feel like it's more time in the world than you actually have. And that's something at this age you're going to be at the peak of. It's so many things out there for y'all to do. So you're excited, you're ambitious about it. Same thing with that limitless possibility. Right now, for a lot of you, the hardest thing for y'all to really realize is getting enough money to get to get gas in your car and going somewhere, or finding a ride to somewhere. But other than that, if you can find a ride, you picking up and you going. So you have your limited possibility, and you also have a lot of dreams that you have. And one thing that's really highlighted at this age group is your self-awareness. You're becoming more self-aware of what you like. It was things I liked at 14 and 18 that I don't even do anymore. One thing I like to talk about is football. I love football. I love football up until it was a Thursday night, my freshman year, at Dable. That's when I was still at Dable. How many of y'all are Alabama football fans? I feel sorry for you. But, so a lot of you will know Anthony Jennings. All right? So, I remember one Thursday at football practice. And on Thursdays, if you play football, Thursday the easy day. You got a game on Friday. You know you really ain't doing nothing at practice. You're going over plays, doing this, doing that. So on Thursday, you're really not doing anything. And some of you may know Anthony. Anthony is one of the best people in the world. He's a gentle giant. He respects everybody. He treats everybody how they're supposed to be treated. So on Thursday, Anthony hit me at practice at about 30%. And I had enough. A D1 football player hit me at 30% of his full strength, and I just knew it wasn't for me. So you becoming more self-aware of what you're putting yourself into and what you have going on. And so this leads us to our first saying. Our first saying, and I want y'all to repeat after me. Time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. Time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. How many hours in the day do we have? Do you have any different 24 hours than I or Bill Gates have? We all live the same exact life. The same amount of hours I get, the person who's going against you for the same exact goals that you have is going for. So that time is neutral. Time is one of the only absolute things money cannot buy. They say money can't buy you happiness. But one thing, and I know y'all listen to Future. Future said you can either cry in a Lamborghini or cry in a Honda. So they say money can't buy you happiness, but money can do some things. But time, you can't buy that back. You can't buy it at all. So time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. How you use that time is up to you. And so, if you remember, the first one was, is this life? Or this is life? This one, nah, this is life. So, right here, this is adolescence. And most of you know, or you should know, your brain isn't done forming until you're about 25 years old for men. For women, I think it's a little bit early, like 22, 23, 24. But we're all in that same age range. Well, until you from 22 to 25, your brain is still not fully done forming. So, this age is defined by consequentless freedom. So, when I was making this PowerPoint, I realized that consequentless wasn't a word. So that's why I had to put it in the quotation marks. But consequentless freedom. What I mean by this is that Drayson said I went to Auburn. I went to Auburn and I went straight to university. In college, it is so easy to do whatever you want every day and not do nothing you don't want to do. You know how every day some of you get on the bus and your parents drop you off for school, or if you don't go to school, for most school systems, I think they have now where they send an automatic call to your parents, say, hey, you know so-and-so ain't been there. In college, it's not like that. For most professors, they're not even going to take attendance, especially if you go to a big class that has 150, 300 some people in it. The only motive for you to go to class is that you pay to go to school in some way, shape, or form, and that you want to pass, but you don't have to go. Another thing, and I'm glad my mom kind of let me do what I want to in high school, is that it is so easy to find something to do every night. I know you listen to a lot of people who are going to say, don't go to parties in college. Don't worry about partying. And I agree with that for one reason and one reason only. Every night can be a party in college if you want it to be. If you want to have a party every night, you can, or you can find something to do at most places. But you have a freedom at college where it seems like you don't have consequences. It seems like you're still in that environment where, I have freedom. If I mess up and I don't go to class, I don't think anything will happen. I'm not going to get in trouble. Well, you're not going to get in trouble immediately, but at the end of every class, almost every class, you have to take a final. So your consequences will come sooner or later. The next one is hard relationships. So for hard relationships, this is where you kind of see your circle getting smaller, like people our age say. A lot of the people you dealt with in high school, you're not going to talk to anymore. Either because you moved away or they moved away. You guys just don't see eye to eye. You start living different lifestyles. You have different opinions. You have different motivations. So you really start to see a lot of your relationships deteriorate or not exist altogether. Some people find out they only have 1-2 people that they talk to every day. Some people feel like some of the people they thought were their friends are not their friends. And this is where pride comes in. At this age, you start learning what pride really is. You start learning about what people value, what you value. Certain stuff people going to do to you where you're going to say, I just can't fool with them no more after that. Or they're not going to want to fool with you anymore after something you did. This is where you're going to learn that. Another thing is networking. All right, so how many people think once you graduate, you get a job? Like as soon as you graduate, you get a job. I'm glad none of you believe that because that's not how life works at all. So it's a phrase that they say, and this is not one of the phrases I want you to remember, but you should still remember it. Your network is your net worth. You're only as rich as the amount of connections you have. All right, so all of y'all know what Tesla is. All of you guys know what Microsoft is. All of you know what credit is. Do you all think you understand credit? Anybody think they understand credit? Raise your hand if you think you understand credit. All right, good. Because I still don't understand credit. But the thing that I'm going into from that with networking is all of this stuff and your network is going to be built off your word and your resources and your amount to back up whatever you say you can do. This is going to be a period where you have to build hard relationships based off providing services for others, either for free or very, very cheap, or talking and communicating with other people who have like ideals as you. The next one is imposter syndrome and self-consciousness. So imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a phenomenon that a lot of people, they'll go and they'll look in the mirror and they will feel like they don't belong. I'm a first generation college student. My mom had my sister when she was 15. She got her GED when she was 16 and a half. Enrolled in a community college, tried it out for a year and a half, and then she stopped. My dad graduated, and I'm at Coosa here. He graduated from, I think it was Rockford High School in Coosa. And after that, he worked at Walmart, D.C. for almost 20-some years. So I'm a first-generation college student. A lot of the times, I look at myself in the mirror, and they have this phenomenon that a lot of you will see when you're a first generation college student is imposter syndrome, and you'll also feel guilty. You'll feel guilty for no reason at all. You'll feel guilty because you know there are at least 10 or 15 more people back at home who look exactly like you, have worked at least as hard as you have, and they're not in the same position that you're in. And that's going to make you feel some type of way. But you have to deal with that, and we'll get to that later. And this one is self-consciousness. So it's a difference between self-awareness and self-consciousness. Self-consciousness, you are already aware of what you like, but you're also conscious of how every decision you make affects what you are aware of. So one is knowing, this is acting willfully. Okay, so the next one is something I love to talk about, because when somebody sees a 23-year-old mayor, they just think you have it all figured out. All right, so discovering your true passions. So I'm going to tell y'all my degree again. And when I tell y'all this degree and how I got it, it's going to be very funny to y'all. So I have a degree in interdisciplinary studies. I have focus areas of civic and community engagement, political science, business. I have a double minor in history and biology. All right? That sounds like I'm pretty smart, right? What that means was I was too dumb to be a doctor, hated chemistry, so I stopped going. I didn't major in biology. That's why I have a minor in biology, because I already took enough classes, but I hated chemistry. I got the history minor on purpose. My degree is in interdisciplinary studies, because interdisciplinary studies is a fancy way of saying you don't have to take any classes besides your core classes that you do not want to take. So basically, I created my own major, and I got a minor in history. That was the one thing in college I actually set out to do in high school. I wanted to do that. And I got a minor in biology because I just so happened to take that many biology classes before I decided I didn't want to be a doctor anymore, because I just didn't have the mind or patience for it. So, in a lot of that success that most people see, they don't see how that only happened because I failed at a lot of things. I hated chemistry. I withdraw in it, maybe, want to say, in college, and this is something y'all going to take use of if you anything like me. So before you take finals, you have like 3-4 weeks before you take finals where you can withdraw from that class and it won't count on your transcript. You just say, hey, I don't like this class, or I don't think I'm going to do good in it, so I'm withdrawing from this class, and I just don't want to take the final. So I ended up doing that for basically all my chemistry classes, inorganic chemistry classes, because crazy enough, I'm good at OChem for no reason. But that's what I decided to do. But in that, it's a lot of failure, a lot of failure. And I lost a lot of sleep thinking, what am I going to do since I can't be a doctor, or I know I don't want to be a doctor. Another thing as a first generation student you're going to do is hitting the glass ceiling. So the glass ceiling is something, if you look up and see a glass ceiling, think about what your dog would see. He wouldn't see that it was a roof over your head. He would see the sky still there. A lot of people who are minorities or first generation college students, you hit this point where you think you can't get any further, where there's some barrier holding you back and you can't put quite your finger on what's exactly happening. That's that glass ceiling. And the last one is, in quotations, starting your life. One of the craziest things about America that I think is perpetrated throughout most of our lives is that you make this decision when you're 18 that I'm going to do this and this is what I'm going to do until I die. That don't happen for 70 to 80% of people. I'm in law school right now. The average age of my classmates is somewhere in the 30s. My oldest classmate is 61 years old. Usually for law school, it's either most people's second or third career. So a lot of these people have careers somewhere else. They say, hey, I want to make more money, or hey, I want to do law, and they come to law school just to get either a boost in their credentials, get that certificate that'll push them over the edge for a position they want, or something like that. So what that means is that at this point in your life, when you're 18 or 22, you're going to be making decisions that you think will affect you, and you have to hold yourself to the rest of your life. And it's not going to be like that. I'm 23 years old. I turned 23 on May 18th of last year. It's stuff that I believe on May 17th, 2022, that I don't believe on this day. You're going to constantly reinvent yourself, rediscover yourself as you become more self-conscious and more aware of the things you like and the things you want to do. So, from this phase in your life, you already know that time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. Everybody has those same 24 hours in a day. For this phase of your life, that 18 to 22, the only thing you're going to have, and I want y'all to repeat after me, in life, all you have is your word. In life, all you have is your word. All right, so I'm going to tell you another one of my crazy skills. All right, I took the ACT 3 times. I took it in 8th grade. I made a 24 on it. I took it my junior year. I made a 30 on it. I took it my senior year. I made a 33 on it. When I made that 30, I was 15 years old. When I turned 15, I said I want to help other people out. Because for some reason, I can take standardized tests very, very good. So I wanted to help other people because I knew I had a gift. For years, I did that for free. It was for years I provided free ACT tutoring because it was something I felt like I had to do. Because I knew it wasn't anything more special about me than anyone else that led me to those test scores. At this point, I've been tutoring, I'm 23 years old, for 8 years. I can command, for my amount of expertise, at least $150 a session. And we're talking about an hour's worth of work where I'm not even really working. Been doing it for 8 years, I can do it with my eyes closed at this point. When I got my job as a law clerk for Judge Williams, I volunteered at Faulkner's legal system department. I took family law. That was something I did for free, and I just helped people out. I get paid salary to do something that I like doing. And this is something this age, when you're 18 or 22, you're going to learn the more stuff you do for free or the more stuff that you do at a discounted rate for people just out of the pureness of wanting to learn or wanting to get more experience. When you get to that point where you need a job, people are going to throw money at you. It's to the point where when I was 18 and 20, and I've always believed in keeping a job, I was working third shift at UPS, went from working third shift at UPS when COVID hit to working at Walmart DC because classes were online, 43 hours a week, and now I work as a law clerk. But I always believed in keeping a job. At this point, I make more money now than I did working 45, 50 hours a week, manual labor, stacking pallets. I make more money now, and it's just because I put in that amount of time of doing stuff for free and volunteering for people and keeping my word to people, that people are more willing to take risks with me. They're more willing to compensate me. They want to invite me to do things because I've proven myself. So, for all the people 22 and up, this is what you really start to experience when you get to adulthood. Dang, this is life? Responsibilities. Your parents might talk about this, and I know it's a Biggie song. More money, more problems. The more money you have, and really not even talking about money at this point, the more money, the more age, the more experience, the more you're thought of as being grown, the more responsibilities you have. And I mean this even to the most mundane of stuff. It's some stuff that you take for granted right now that in 4 or 5 years it's gonna be different. When I was in high school and I got a flat tire, my inconvenience was, man, I gotta sit here while I wait for my tire to get fixed. Or I gotta wait for my mom to come bring the spare or something like that. When you get a flat tire as an adult, you worried about number one, you got to change that tire. If you want your tires to be right, you probably need to change the other tire on the other side so they're even. You got to make sure they rotated. When you're going to do that, your suspension may be messed up depending on how long you've been driving on it. So it's a lot more responsibilities and things that you have to pay attention to. And I'm not just talking about bills, but as you get a relationship with other people, like me, I have a girlfriend that her and I have to be open, honest, and communicate with each other. Once you get more responsibilities, once you get more things, you're going to see that they aren't all cracked up to what they're going to be, what you thought they would be. Small friend circles. Like I keep saying, I'm 23 years old. It's only 3 people I talk to every single day. That's my mom, my girlfriend, and my homeboy Trey, because we play the game every night. It's only 3 people I talk to every single day, or at least almost every day. Beyond that, it's a lot of people that I come in contact with that I won't see for months. Some people I don't go seeing for a year or so. But your friend group will get a lot smaller. The third thing is depression and hard thoughts. So I'm not using depression in a clinical sense of, you're in this rut or you're down clinically. But what I mean about depression and hard thoughts is there are going to be some days where you are really going to feel bad about yourself for no reason at all. You're going to feel bad because you didn't execute something the way you wanted to. You're going to feel bad because sometimes it's going to even feel like, is this journey worth it? It's a lot of times in my first year of law school where I was like, man, it's just no point in me doing this. It's no point in me continue to do this. I have to drive to Montgomery every day. I got to do this homework. I have mayor stuff I have to deal with. I have to worry about my other job. It was a lot of moments where I just felt like I couldn't do it. And those hard thoughts are, I should just give up. I should just quit. You really can't see that light at the end of the tunnel. Social pressure. So another thing I want you all to know, social media is a lie. Social media is a lie. That person that you see with every pair of shoes of all time, they're lacking in some department. That person you seeing driving that Hellcat, the check engine light probably on. Social media is a lie. At our age, it's expected because of social media that we're supposed to have all our stuff together. No one at my age, including me, has all their stuff together. I don't know one 40-year-old who looks at me and can tell me, I'm absolutely 100% sure I have all my stuff together. My judge, Judge Calvin Williams, Judge is, I think, 57. He's in the Army Reserves. He's a state judge, the presiding judge. He has a lot of different income coming in from a lot of different places. And when he retires, he's probably going to be able to retire at a beach house somewhere in Gulf Shores. He tells me I don't have this stuff all figured out. And if he don't have it all figured out, I feel quite fine with me not having it all figured out. But it's going to be social pressure for you all to think and believe that you have it all together. But I'm going to tell you now and forever, social media is all a lie. Next thing is anxiety about life. And up under I have rediscovery. So I told you all that I don't think the same way that I did a year ago. And the year before that, I don't think the same way I thought 2 years ago. Throughout life, you're going to constantly reinvent yourself. It's going to be priorities that come up to play. And it's going to be things that you have to rank in order of importance. And you're going to have to constantly reshuffle those things. Just speaking for myself as a man, I'm getting to the end of the road in school. My number one priority after school is finding a job. But I also want to be a husband. Somewhere, some way, one of those is going to have to come before the other. There's no way you can slice it or dice it. Do you rank having a good job over being a good husband? Do you rank being a good husband over being a good son? Do you rank being a good son over being a good brother? These are the type of things that as you become more self-conscious, self-aware, these are things that are going to pop up in your head. These are things you're going to have to constantly think about and analyze, because no matter how you put it, you are going to have to rank and prioritize things in your life. And there is no way that you can get to everything that you have to do in 24 hours and still have enough sleep to not be in a crazy house. So, right now we have our two phrases, or our two sayings. Our two sayings, time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. And our second one, in life, all you have is your word. So right here, this is my acronym. Be a champ with 4 P's. And I didn't want to put the 4 P's, but I think the 4 P's are just as important as each other. So, be a champ. Believe always. So the first thing that you have to do in order to achieve anything is believe in it. Even when it's certain that you're going to fail. Even when you know you're putting your back up against the wall. Even when you're tired, when you feel like it can't be done, you have to believe always. The second thing is consistency. Being consistent in the amount of good is always going to be more important than having that one-hit wonder. One of the things that I always think about is I became mayor when I was 21 years old. I don't want to be that man when I'm 57 talking about what I did when I was 21. That's not the apex of my journey. That's not where I want my entire life to leave out, is I want to predicate on this one thing I did if I'm 57 over 20 years ago. Over 30 years ago at that point. I have to keep constantly being consistent, rising up. Or if I'm not rising up in position, at least being consistent and doing the same amount of good that I was doing then. That's my bare minimum. That's my floor now. You have to constantly raise your floor. The next thing, and this is something that I think all of us don't do enough, is heal. You have to heal. One of my biggest problems when I journeyed from being in high school to now is that I can say I hated people. It was points in my life. Can somebody give me some water, please? Thank you. But the main thing is healing. There were points in my life where I hated people because of what they did to me. Because I felt like they put a target on my back. I felt like they had it out for me. Hold on. My pastor always say, if you to the point where you're speaking and your throat is hurt, you probably need to sit down. So we're gonna get y'all out here. So next one is heal. You have to heal. You have to talk to other people. You have to get things out. One of the things I took from college was this thing called culture bump, and it's very simple. Whenever you have a problem, you have to do 3 things. You have to stop, reflect, and reconnect. Whenever you have a problem, you have to reach back out to that person. Like if you don't reach out to that person, reach to whoever or whatever you believe in. Talk. Sometimes it's going to feel like you're talking to yourself. Or even worse than talking to yourself, it's going to feel like you're talking to a wall. But you have to get it out. You have to deal with it. The next thing is ask for help. You have to ask for help. That goes back to your network. My greatest strength as mayor is I know when I do not know something. When you guys get in the position to be bosses and supervisors and leaders, the one thing and the biggest advice I give anybody who's put in a position of power is if you do not know something, you need to either defer to someone who does or you need to find out. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. I talk about all of my departments. Now, the reason why I feel like Cam Peel is a better community is I can point to someone who's an expert in their field. I can point to someone who I know has my best interest at heart. I can point to someone who I know they know what they're talking about. The next one is moral decision making. So we talked about self-awareness and self-consciousness. Moral decision making builds off of those two. Moral decision making won't always make you the most money. It won't bring you the most attention. But at the end of the day, it usually always brings you the most value. And another thing, when we talk about anxiety, you never want hanging over your head the thought of doing something wrong. Because if you're doing something wrong, sooner or later you will get caught. And the last thing is my 4 P's. Patience, positivity, playing, and persistence. So, patience, a lot of the times, things are not going to happen when we expect them to, or when we want them to. I got a story of that happened just last week. I got my stimulus check that I applied for in 2021, 2 weeks ago. It wasn't when I wanted it, but I got a check, and it was all 3 stimulus checks. I got a check for 3-some thousand, all at one time that I applied for 2 years ago, and I finally got it in the mail. It didn't come when I wanted to, but I wasn't complaining about having $3,000 extra dollars. So positivity. On those days that it's hard, a lot of the times you have to remain positive. I always say that there's no such thing as luck. It's only preparation and opportunity. You have to prepare, and when you have that opportunity, you have to take advantage. And you have to stay positive throughout the entire situation. A lot of people don't know that one of the only reasons that I became mayor is because I applied to a council seat and it was rejected. And I was salty about it. And when I was salty about it, I ran for mayor, and that's how I got it. That's the short end of that story, but I stayed positive and I kept going. Planning. If you guys do nothing else, always have a plan A, B, and C. I'm a big time planner. Every important day that I have for the next maybe almost year, I have planned out. I graduate on May 11th, 2024 at 3 p.m. And I know that because I'm not letting that pass me by. I know exactly on what date, at what time I want to propose to my girlfriend. I plan things out. I try to control as much chaos as you can. And in life, you can only control the things that you can control. And planning helps to dwindle down on a lot of those things you can't control. And the last thing is persistence. So, as we talked about, you're going to fail a lot. It's part of the nature. I failed a lot of times. One of the biggest stories that we always talk about, or that I always talk about, is that I played basketball. I played basketball for Auburn. No one will know that because I sat at the end of the bench. When I tell y'all the end of the bench, I didn't even travel to every away game. It was only at basically every home game, and that's when they bring out the extra seats that you have. I was at the end of the bench. But I understood my role. I didn't fail, but I only played 6 minutes in 2 years. So some people would say I'm a failure, but I don't think so. But there's some people's opinion of failure. But you have to stay persistent. You have to plan your goals out. I'm 5'10", 5'11", at this point 225 pounds. I knew I wasn't going to the NBA. So you have to stay persistent in what you plan for, what your actual goals were for. Okay. So, as a recap, for middle adolescents, that 14 to 18, time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. For the age group that you all are at, you have to find something that you like and invest your time in it. And I'm not saying that every day you have to be working. I'm not saying that every second you have to be working. But what I'm saying is invest yourself into something that will either bring you joy or money or stability. If it's not bringing you joy, money, or stability, it's honestly no reason to do it at all. Late adolescence, 18 to 22. In life, all you have is your word. You find your network. You network out with other people. You find your circle. You make commitments to your circle and that network, and you keep your word. You always do what you say you're going to do. And if you can't do it, and this is harder than doing it most of the time, be man enough or woman enough to tell somebody, I messed up. I don't think I'll be able to do it. You'll get a lot more respect and a lot more opportunities doing it that way. And so adulthood, be a champ. You have to believe always. You have to have consistency. You have to heal. You have to ask for help. You have to make morality-based decisions. And you have to be patient, be positive, you have to plan, and you have to persevere and persist. And so, I told you all that we was going to have a cash up opportunity. Does anybody want to try to tell me everyone? All right, I saw you first. I need all of them. Every saying, and when you say it, I need you to look at me. I don't need you to look there. I need you to look at me. No, that time I need the whole thing. No, I don't need you to look down. I'm only 23. I done did G stuff a whole lot myself. Nope. Anybody else? All right. Yes, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. All right. Uh-huh. Okay. Tell me three things how to be a champion. You gotta say the whole thing. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you got your three. But yeah. So you got it. You got it. Just get with me after this. All right. So time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. In life, all you have is your word. And be a champ. Believe always. Consistency. Heal. Ask for help. Morality-based decisions. Planning. Positivity. Persistence. And positivity. Those are the things you need to remember to be successful. At this point, if you guys have any questions for me, I'll take any questions. And also, I'm always an ambassador for Auburn. So if you guys are interested in any Auburn stuff or any Auburn information, I got it over there in my bag, got some goodies for y'all. And also, if you're interested in law school, I got some stuff for y'all there as well. So if y'all have any of those things, come see me. I also have my card. If any of you want my card, I have my card. If you want any opportunities at Auburn, Faulkner, getting a job around here or something, I can probably connect you with any of that as well. But do I have any questions or anything from anybody at all? All right. Yes, ma'am. At this point, I just want something that makes me joyful. That's what my girlfriend always says. She wants me to be joyful. So I'm gonna use her pronouns. I want to be happy. I always want to find something stable. So I think most of all is I don't think I miss out on any sleep at night. So I think I try to live as joyful as possible. I try to do stuff that interests me, and I try to always do what I thought others should have done for me. So that's what motivates me the most. Any other questions from anybody? Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, good planning. Good planning. For mayor is having a great staff. My town clerk, I can call her and she can give me the rundown on everything. My utility clerk's the same way when it comes to utilities. My police chief, I want to say Cal Field has one of the most over-decorated police chiefs because he can go anywhere and make double to triple what he makes now, but he still stays with us. Same thing with our utility superintendent. So for mayor, it's putting people in place who are at the best or the best in their fields. For school, is planning and finding studying that works for you. I didn't, to be honest with y'all, I didn't start studying until I was like maybe a sophomore in college. Studying what I consider studying now. So finding a routine that works for me. When I was at Alabama School of Math and Science, it was like boarding school. It was boarding school. And I kind of took like a military approach to it. None of my family's in the military, but I used to watch stuff, so I created a schedule and I stick to it as often as possible. Usually I wake up, no matter what time I go to sleep, I always wake up at 5:30. Always get in the morning, always get up in the morning, eat breakfast. Then usually I watch cartoons, and after cartoons I go work out, and then after workout I head to school or to work. And so for school, it's just maintaining that schedule, always knowing what time and when to study for, and prioritizing which one is the easiest versus the hardest. And for work, in my non-mayor job, is that I try to view myself as how I view my employees. So if I expect my employees to be the best in their field, I feel like Judge Williams expects the same from me. So I try to match. So, but it was a challenge when I was younger, but now it's getting a whole lot easier, especially with the mayor, just because I have better staff than what I had when I first got in office. Yes, ma'am. So right now, so currently I work in family law, but when I graduate, I think I want to prosecute. I either want to be a prosecutor or do immigration. So it's the only three fields I'm really looking at is prosecution, immigration, or working in the FBI as a special agent. So those are kind of my three focus here. Any other questions from anybody? Well, if not, I thank y'all. And if y'all have any questions or want any information, just come see me. I got it over here.
Let's give Mayor Cole another round of applause. Oh my goodness, he hit on all of the topics. He hit on everything, didn't he? Did you all enjoy his speech to us? Wonderful. And we really thank him because, a large part of our population are first generation students. So members of their families have not attended college, and that imposter syndrome is very real. The guilt is very real. Dealing with mental health issues, you all know we send y'all a lot of information about that, and just talking about everyday issues that we all face. I'm 60 and I don't have it all together. Especially that credit thing, I have to cut those cars up, y'all. I'll just be honest with you. So All right, so I know you all smell the food, and we do have something for you, Mary Cole, and I hope you can stay. You and Drayson as well. Thank you all. Hope y'all can stay, and everyone can stay with us. We have barbecue, pork and chicken, and baked beans and potato salad. Then we have Chick-fil-A as well. So we're setting. So you choose one or the other, and I think we're gonna have enough then, Carol, that if they want to go back, the students can. And for the adults, the gentleman, Little Smokies, there he is right there. Eric, raise your hand. Eric Moore owns Little Smokies Barbecue. They always hang out on Lake Martin. So we were so happy to get them, but they're very popular at Lake Martin, and they're connected to Auburn University, do a lot of events there as well. So we're setting up all of our food for our students in here because we want to keep them inside. But if you all, as adults, he is so gracious to us. You know, when I told him, I said, hey, we pay for the students, but he wants to make sure everybody eats. That's all you all around the exhibit tables. They have a food truck right out there. Chief Hodge said, I know that's sweet. Chief Hodge said he put the food truck, you can walk out and it's right there. And he doesn't have his full menu together, but he does have what he brought for us together. So you all are welcome to get you something. So as they're setting up the food, we're going to go on with some of the special presentations. And I want to start with the school site specialist. And for those of you all who are not aware, I'm going to call them, we wouldn't be able to have ETS if it were not for our partner schools. And our school site specialists are the contact. They're our contact between ETS, CACC, and their high schools. We would not be able to do this, all right? We need them, we honor them, and we respect them, and we're so happy that some of them are here with us today. And I'm just going to call them up, and maybe somebody can get a picture. But before you all sit down, if you do not have your posters for your schools, you have a poster, one of each for each high school. We just got these, and I think I took it to Benjamin Russell and maybe one other. Miss Billingsley, did I think so. So I'm going to put these right here. And then, Messiah, if you want to take a table to spread out some of the information, you're welcome to. If you want to take a table and, like, later on spread out. So I want to get a group picture of our school site specialists, and I know y'all are ready to eat. We're going to get there. So the first person is Allison Moats. Thank you. I don't have my school list. Okay. B.B. Comer, just stand up here for Allison the Moats at B.B. Comer, and Allison Rogers, is she here? Allison Rogers. All right. Then we have Anna Sparks. Anna Sparks, thank you so much. Okay. Brandy Lee. Thank you. Just stand up here. And somebody get a picture for me. Brandy Lee, did she come today? Okay. We took a field trip to Troy, and Brandy had a lot of students, filled up the bus. Erica Barron, I think I talked to her. She couldn't make it. Erica is Sylacauga. Kim Counts Dadeville. And Kim is now a career coach. So her schedule is a little bit different now. And then Lisa Boyd, Horseshoe Bend, is here. And Nicole Callahan. Thank you so much. Okay, Nicole Callahan. And then Rena Billingsley. Miss Billingsley, come up. Miss Billingsley is one of our new school site specialists and just came in and hit that ground running hard. I mean, just did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. And let's see. Tanya Higgins, she's not here. Tanisha Barclay from TC. She didn't make, I think she, in addition to being a principal, assistant principal, she's like the district recruiter, so y'all know what that's like. And last but not least, Mr. Thomas Stubblefield. And as I mentioned before, Mr. Stubblefield just started as a school site specialist. So thank you guys. Posters for your school. Thank you so much. Did I leave this? Was that all of the schools? Miss Sanford came in. Where's Miss Sanford? Come here. Okay. Miss Sanford is here. She's a career coach for Talladega County Central High School. Oh, Tallapoosa. Okay. Let's get a picture. Yeah. And she is here in place for Dr. Barclay. I'm so sorry. Oh. And if you will take one of each. Okay. Miss Precious, how are we close to? We can do some. Is it okay if y'all eat now? Because I know your schedule, you probably have lunch by now. So, like I said, we have Chick-fil-A and we have barbecue. So you want to be able to, and do we need help with servers? You have, okay. So, we have gloves and we're going to set everything up. And then the drinks are over here in the coolers over there. And then when you're finished eating, if you want to go back to the exhibit tables, you're free to do that as well. And while you're eating, once they get settled, we'll finish up with some presentations, okay? So at this time, I want to call Fantasia Jackson from Sylacauga High School. Fantasia is a senior, and she's just always so helpful whenever we need anything. She's sort of like our right hand, so we're going to ask her to bless the food at this time.
Can you please bow your heads for a word of prayer? Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all these people gathered in this room. We thank you for the people who have traveled far and traveled near. And please bless the food and let it be nourishment to our body. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Okay, so are you all ready for them to line up, or do we need to wait? All right, so you guys can line up.